Adrian Newey did not sign with Ferrari and instead chose Aston Martin. The Formula One team granted him every clause he requested in the contract to secure the British designer, including a percentage of the team's corporate shares. Yesterday, another official confirmation arrived regarding Newey. From 2026, he will also become the team principal, in addition to taking on the role of technical director. It is a scenario already seen at Maranello, where it never worked with Mattia Binotto. Seeing Adrian Newey, a figure who has always preferred staying away from microphones and cameras, stepping into the role of team principal at Aston Martin is something few would have imagined. Yet behind the announcement, which arrived on the Wednesday opening the Qatar Grand Prix weekend, lies an important detail connected to his decision to reject Ferrari after months of discussions. The general belief was that the main obstacle preventing an agreement with Ferrari was Newey's desire to remain in the United Kingdom rather than relocate to Italy. However, his decision to take on a completely new type of position suggests that something more was at play. After winning everything possible with the Milton Keynes team, the British mastermind likely had his sights set on a role carrying greater prestige as he approached the later stage of his career. And it is possible that Newey expressed this ambition to Ferrari's top management during the conversations that took place after the announcement of his departure from Red Bull. But given the internal structure and political balance inside Maranello, such a request would have been nearly impossible to grant. Ferrari had only recently launched its new era under Vasseur, and appointing Newey as team principal would have meant abruptly freezing a project that, at least in 2024, appeared capable of bringing the prancing horse back to the front. Looking back now, considering the many issues Ferrari faced with the SF25 throughout the season, a change in leadership might actually have produced positive effects. But as always, what-ifs and maybes do not take you far in Formula One. Ultimately, only the track will provide the real answers. The British genius has been hired to deliver a major technical boost, drawing on his extensive Formula One knowledge. The plan is to guide a young and ambitious team to the top of the world. Canadian billionaire Lawrence Stroll essentially wrote a blank check to secure Adrian, and as if that were not enough, he continues to give him even greater responsibility. Andy Cowell and Adrian Newey have agreed to split their responsibilities so each can focus on their own strengths and experience, ensuring maximum organizational efficiency. Andy will take on a new role as Chief Strategy Officer, using his unique background to optimize the technical cooperation between the team, Honda, Aramco, and Valvoline. Meanwhile, Adrian will become team principal from 2026 and will lead the group of engineers, including all trackside operations for the car. These strategic changes are designed to ensure the team is fully prepared to maximize its collective expertise in 2026, when Formula One will undergo the most significant regulatory shift of this generation, and an additional team will join the grid. It is easy to assume that this decision comes from a less-than-perfect alignment between Cowell and the former Red Bull designer. It is well known that Newey does not compromise on one key factor. He must always have the final word. This does not imply that Adrian wants absolute control, but when disagreements arise, his opinion must carry greater weight. This level of authority is something he has fully earned through a career filled with extraordinary success. Such influence could be vital for a team still inexperienced in Formula One and yet to win even a single race. Aston Martin's future shines brightly, but to avoid burning out too quickly, they need someone like Adrian Newey to guide the technical evolution of the project. From this perspective, moving Andy Cowell into another part of the organization makes sense. What remains is to reflect on the new role that will be handed to Adrian. It might have been simpler and far less complicated to hire another team principal, someone aligned with Adrian Newey's philosophy, who could have managed the role while allowing the British engineer full technical freedom. What raises doubts is the need to overload the British designer with additional tasks, responsibilities entirely new to him, and requiring significant effort. He will have to learn a new job and dedicate considerable focus to this unfamiliar position, and at 67 years of age, he will be expected to handle the communication side, take part in constant interviews, and publicly discuss the sporting direction of his team. In our view, this is asking too much. These duties will inevitably keep him away from his real work, forcing him to delegate many of the areas in which he excels. It is a situation that Ferrari handled poorly in the past. The Binotto era, remember? Mattia held both the top technical and managerial roles at the same time. Managing two leadership positions within a team appears unnecessary, especially in a regulatory environment that will be completely new. Since Lawrence Stroll acquired Force India and transformed it into Aston Martin, his growth strategy has always been measured and methodical. The announcement made yesterday, however, carries risky and potentially counterproductive implications. If Adrian Newey succeeds where Ferrari failed with Mattia Binotto, there will be nothing left to do but bow to the most iconic figure the sport has ever seen. The news could potentially reshape the future of Formula One. Adrian Newey has been appointed as the new team principal of Aston Martin, a role that marks a major turning point for Lawrence Stroll's team and could have a huge impact on the driver market. With Adrian Newey at the helm, the path for Charles Leclerc, and possibly even Max Verstappen, towards Aston Martin becomes much more plausible. In recent days, speculation has intensified regarding a potential move for Charles Leclerc to Aston Martin in 2027. Already a strong rumor on its own, this story gains even more momentum with Adrian Newey's arrival at the top of the team. The Monegasque driver has renewed his commitment to Ferrari, but 2026 will be a crucial year. The new technical regulations are set to shake up the grid, and the Monegasque driver will carefully evaluate the performance of Ferrari's new car in the opening races of the season. If the Maranello team once again fails to remain competitive, the Aston Martin option becomes very real. With Adrian Newey as team principal and central figure of the project, the appeal of the offer increases significantly. Charles Leclerc could give the Italian side one last chance in the 2026 Formula One campaign before deciding his future. Adrian Newey's arrival doesn't just open doors for Charles Leclerc. According to Paddock Whispers, another unexpected scenario could emerge: Max Verstappen joining Aston Martin. The four-time world champion has already won with cars designed by Adrian Newey. Their relationship is historic, built on trust and results. Recent challenges at Red Bull could prompt Max Verstappen to explore new opportunities, and an ambitious team led by Newey would represent a highly attractive option. The possibilities of Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen in 2027 are independent. Aston Martin has the financial and technical resources to pursue multiple strategies in the market. However, a tantalizing suggestion circulates in the paddock: a Max Verstappen-Charles Leclerc pairing under the leadership of Adrian Newey. At this moment it seems an almost surreal project, yet not entirely impossible in a rapidly changing Formula One landscape. Adrian Newey's appointment as team principal is a clear statement of intent. Aston Martin wants to win in the new technical era, and they aim to do so with one of modern engineering's absolute leaders. The team also intends to attract the strongest drivers of the current generation. The coming weeks will reveal whether this ambitious vision remains just that, or evolves into the most sensational driver market move in modern F1 history. The first real test comes in the 2026 Formula One Championship. If the green cars are quick out of the box, then the 2027 season could deliver the biggest driver market earthquake in decades.